All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're deconstructing a fascinating and honestly pretty relatable story about animated vegetables. We're looking at a classic fable, the story of the potato and the radish, or Aalu Muli ki Kahani. Now, on the surface, sure, it sounds like a simple moral story set in a bustling vegetable market. But once we pull apart the source material, we're actually looking at a masterclass in team dynamics, the dangers of ego, and the true meaning of leadership. It's literally the perfect narrative to hold a mirror up to our own professional and personal relationships.
So look at this question. Does height make someone great? What's really interesting here is how this brilliantly sets up the story's core conflict, pride versus reality. In our fable, height is literal. We're talking about a very tall radish. But for us, well, height represents any physical trait, a status symbol, or some individual talent we happen to have. It really forces us to ask, do those personal attributes automatically make us superior to everyone around us? As we're going to see, mistaking a single personal trait for holistic, overall greatness is a trap that is incredibly easy to fall into.
Which brings us to the preparation of vegetables, or in Hindi, sabziyon ki tayari.
Picture this. We're introduced to this lively, bustling environment where onion, potato, tomato, and ginger are working together in perfect harmony to set up their shop. Onion is rallying the troops, urging everyone to hurry up because there's hard work to be done. Potato is carefully arranging the veggies, tomato is making the display look great, and ginger is placing all the baskets perfectly. You see, everyone has a highly specific role. There's no ego here, no rigid hierarchy of importance, just a shared, mutual goal of getting the shop ready for the day. It's teamwork in its absolute purest form.
But then we get to the proud radish, separating. Ghamandi Muli ka alag hona.
Okay, here's where things get a little spicy. We have a total clash of philosophies. The tallest radish arrives in town and literally demands that everyone make way for her. She's declaring, I'm not just tall, I am the most special. Her entire worldview is completely self-centered and based on just one single metric, her height. But the group, their view, voiced by the other vegetables, is that every single vegetable has its own unique specialty. They try to tell her, being tall is great, but it doesn't make you fundamentally better than anyone else here. It's this classic battle of sheer arrogance against an appreciation for diverse, complementary strengths. Well, the radish gets incredibly defensive. Instead of just listening, she decides she doesn't want to share the shop at all. She actually announces she's going to set up her own separate stall so she can keep all the profits for herself, bragging that she doesn't need anyone's help. And the group responds with this powerful warning. Working alone is not easy. They even try to remind her that asking for help isn't a weakness. But the radish, who is just totally blinded by her own perceived greatness at this point, completely ignores this wise warning and isolates herself.
Let's look at the trouble of solo work. Akele kaam ki pareshani.
As you'll see, time quickly becomes her absolute worst enemy. In the morning, she has this fast, super arrogant departure, loudly proclaiming she's going to get all the customers. But by midday, she's facing the slow, agonizing reality of zero sales. She's just standing there, wondering why no one is stopping, trying to convince herself that her hard work will eventually pay off. But then, the climax hits in the afternoon. A fierce wind picks up, and because she is entirely alone, she can't manage the crisis. The storm hits, and her entire basket of radishes crashes to the ground.
Now this is my favorite part. Watch the reaction of the other vegetables during this slow-motion disaster. They've been watching her struggle all morning, but instead of jumping in immediately and lecturing her with a massive "I told you so," one of them wisely notes that experience is the greatest teacher. They realize that sometimes you just can't tell someone they're wrong. When someone is that deeply entrenched in their own ego, words completely fail. They have to actually live through the consequences of their arrogance to truly understand the value of the team they walked away from.
And that leads into friends helping in trouble, musibat mein doston ki madat.
Despite how incredibly poorly the radish treated them just hours earlier, literally calling them inferior, their immediate reaction to her crisis is just unconditional support. First, they notice her distress. Second, they rush straight out into the wind, telling each other to grab the scattered radishes before they blow away. And finally, when the radish asks why on earth they're helping her after she insulted them, they simply tell her it's because she's a friend. They explain that true friends do not abandon each other when things get tough, whether they work together or not. It is honestly a stunning display of duty and grace.
Let's look at how the radish realizes her mistake. Muli ko galti ka ehsas.
What's truly profound here is the internal shift for the radish. She admits she was deeply arrogant about her height, but the crucial takeaway is the nuance of it all.
She realizes that taking pride in your own unique traits isn't inherently a bad thing. What is absolutely wrong, however, is using those traits to belittle others and make them feel small. As the group wisely points out, understanding your mistake is the very first step to change. She finally sees that her special feature didn't make her a bigger or better person.
Which brings us to the power of working together. Milkar kaam karne ki taakat.
Humbled and forgiven, the radish actually asks to rejoin the group, and they welcome her back with open arms. This brilliantly illustrates the tangible, real-world outcomes of our story. I mean, look at the contrast. Working alone resulted in immense struggle during a crisis, absolutely zero sales, and deep emotional isolation. But when she integrates back into the team, it's night and day. They distribute the work, she calls the customers, potato and onion arrange the display, tomato and ginger handle the packaging. Suddenly, the tasks are incredibly easy. Their collective sales skyrocket, and their relationships are stronger than ever. It's a perfect data point, proving that collective effort absolutely outperforms isolated talent.
So, if you take literally nothing else away from this explainer, remember these overarching lessons extracted right from our vegetable friends. Humility will always overcome pride. True friends and good colleagues stand together, especially when things go sideways. Teamwork is the actual engine that creates true success. And perhaps most importantly, everyone, no matter their role, brings a unique, irreplaceable value to the table.
The radish finally understands the true definition of greatness, or asli badapan as it's called in the source text. True greatness isn't found in physical size, your outward appearance, or some single standout metric. It's entirely rooted in positive behavior, a deep sense of humility, and fundamentally respecting the people around you. It's the quality of your character and how you treat people on a random Tuesday afternoon when the wind is howling that actually defines you, not how tall you stand in the morning.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. How can you apply this teamwork and humility in your own life today? Think about your workplace, your family, or even your friend group. Have you ever felt you were just a little bit better or more essential than the rest of your team? And if so, how can you shift that mindset right now? Recognize the unique value in others and build stronger, more resilient connections. Because as our story shows, no matter how tall you are, you really can't weather the storm completely alone.